Buller Bear. Well, she's showing a bull tonight. And that is a coin spin right there. Some of you folks were kind of wondering what that noise is. It's me spinning a coin that says bull on one side and bear on the other. And I kind of just do that for fun. It's, well, you know, coin tosses. You got a 50-50 chance probably either way. Good evening from beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Beautiful, but 90 freaking degrees out. I mean, it's 6:30 in the evening and still 90 degrees. I think we're back into the hottest time of our year when the evenings are going to be around, well, we got August still coming up, but, you know, if you go out at 3 a.m., it's like 86 degrees. So you South Floridians know exactly what I'm talking about. You people in middle and northern Florida and north, and outside Florida, you don't quite have this issue, I don't believe. You get cooler evenings. Well, lovely. I mean, listen, if it's got to be hot out, where is the best time to spend your time? Best place to spend your time? I'd say it's right where these people are right out here. The water is always the one thing beautiful about South Florida is our waters, our ocean. The water temperatures in the summertime are just fantastic. I mean, if you go out there and you sit up to your neck in water, got your coffee or your drink or your beer, whatever you personally like, I mean, the water temperatures are really great this time of year. My favorite time of year as far as going out in the water and swimming and just kind of relaxing and soaking in the healing oceans of the Atlantic. All right, what are my quotes today? Well, I like this, you know, because it really applies to so many of us, and it's everybody has this. When you try to start to control everything in your life, you really enjoy nothing. Sometimes you just need to relax, breathe, let go, and just live in the moment. And that includes being upset about things not being quite the way you want, or the market's not being quite the way you want either. I mean, a lot of some folks are kind of disappointed with the gold and silver markets out there. You just kind of, as I've said here, this provides these lower prices, and they're rigged lower prices. We know they're rigged. I mean, it just screams manipulation. It screams criminal activity, collusive, manipulated behavior. But I sound like a broken record talking about this all the time. And it's easy to get upset about this stuff. And that's really the point when you're really trying to control, that's where the control comes in, is when you get upset, because you can't control that. You really can't. I mean, the best we can do is complain, argue about, complain about it, call the CFTC, call the CME group, try to call your senators, and get the general word out there amongst the general public that, yeah, these markets are crooked and bad. But generally, we don't have control over what ultimately happens. The government agencies that are involved with this stuff, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit here. Ted Butler talks about this as well. And, some folks are going to say, boy, you must love Ted Butler. Well, I do love him, but not quite the sense of, well, anyways, what kind of love I'm talking about. I love the content that he produces. I also love the fact that he understands the manipulation. He explains it. He lays it out. If you're a subscriber of Butler Research, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's like $35 a month, but it's hard to justify that for some folks. Spending $35 a month, and I generally try to relay to you what Mr. Butler's saying without showing you his proprietary $35 a month newsletter. But one of the things that he talks about is that we've always been concerned, for quite some time, we've been concerned about, the big short positions, the JP Morgans and all those guys getting justice. And again, being upset because they're not, there's not justice being served on these big collusive commercial short positions that really have manipulated the silver market mostly, but the gold markets and probably a lot of other markets besides that. The hope of all of us, including myself, for a long time has been that they'll get their just desserts, that these big short positions will suffer because of this manipulation. They'll lose billions of dollars. I mean, a lot of you folks got to feel like that as well. Again, that's part of that control thing. And when you start to really get when you start to become invested in the outcomes of these deals, you do start to enjoy nothing. You don't enjoy owning precious metals. You really, and that can, again, just kind of pervade into other things in your life. Sometimes, as it says down here, you just need to relax, breathe, let go, and just live the moment and realize, folks, that what I've been talking about for quite some time. Ted Butler and GATA.org talks about the manipulation of these markets. But what I've been talking about for quite some time is a saying that I read, a quote by Robert Heinlein that says, "Of course the game is rigged, but if you don't play, you can't win." That's kind of it. I'm paraphrasing it a little bit. And this is true. And this is why I talk about this is a crooked casino. How do you win when you live in a world of crooks, all right? When you live in a world of crooked casinos and crooks, how do you win in these type of games? I tell you exactly how you win. You have to understand how the crooks operate. What exactly are they doing? How are they making their money? How are they getting away with it? And once you start to look at all this stuff, and again, a veteran like Ted Butler, especially in the silver markets, starts to look at this stuff from a different viewpoint. And what he sees, and I think I agree with him 100% at this point, and it kind of opened my eyes to this, is that there may not be justice served, and there likely will not be justice served in the manipulation of the COMEX silver markets. Primarily, gold markets less likely, even though you're seeing prosecutions happening with the spoofing. But remember, the spoofing is really such a small part of the manipulation. The spoofing is created to drive out those long positions, the managed money longs in the COMEX markets, where the real crooked bullshit happens, where the price discovery is, where the real huge amounts of silver are being bought and sold. Not the spoofing fuckers, but the COMEX markets. The spoofers really just help manipulate the COMEX futures markets and drive out those long positions. That's the whole point of the spoofers. The spoofers are just a small part of the manipulation. The real manipulation occurs, again, in the collusive behavior of the big commercial short positions in silver. We all know this. I've explained this 100 times. You want to know more about it, just type in Ted Butler silver manipulation, and there's a lot of free articles you can read there as well. So the point being here, and as Ted Butler points out, we're not going to see justice on this most likely. And I think exactly what we're starting to see is that self-preservation mode, where these big short positions and the COMEX group, probably CME group as well, had to look at the LME position with, and I brought this up a few times, and again, Ted Butler kind of brought this up as well, and elaborates more into it, where the LME kind of exploded, this nickel position exploded. The LME lost huge credibility with this nickel debacle that they had, where they actually canceled the trade, favored the big whale. They lost tons of credibility. Now, they're still a major market out there for base metals, but their credibility factor is pretty much slim to none at this point. The people that lost big on that LME nickel short are suing now. So the COMEX, and I'm kind of getting a little bit early into, well, maybe it's good, we'll get this out of the way. The COMEX is probably looking at this as well as the big short positions in silver and saying, listen, this could happen here. COMEX doesn't absolutely want to go down with the sinking ship. So what they're going to do is try to get these big lead balloons off their sinking ship. Who are the lead balloons? The huge commercial short positions in silver. That if everything, the stars are aligned properly, they could take down the CME as well. Almost what happened to the LME, or potentially could have happened to LME, and really did happen to the LME, because their credibility is lost. Once your credibility is lost in the marketplace, you're screwed. That's what you got going on with the LME. CME's groups, COMEX markets, Globex markets, NYMEX markets, the credibility in those markets are dwindling fast, but with a smaller segment of people. They haven't had a huge default yet. And I think that's what they're trying to prevent right now, and that's what Ted Butler points out. Hence, the reason that we're seeing these prices right now, folks, sub $1,700 gold. Remember, where gold goes, silver follows. So, driving the price down of gold is going to definitely dampen the price of silver right now. But if you're looking at silver, I think we've seen really Is the damage done in silver? Tough to say. You know, we've still got some summer months to go over slow trading and stuff like that. Never underestimate these crooked mothers. But the one thing with gold and silver and platinum is there has to be product behind it. It's like the wheat markets. Even though it is, you know, my understanding is that if the COMEX defaulted in silver, they don't have to supply silver. They can just simply pay it out in cash. Those rules were changed during the Hunt Brothers thing. I think it's in the fine print. Correct me if I'm wrong in that in the comment section below. But sub $1,700 gold in the overnight markets right now. So it's kind of, you know, I was wondering, are they going to try to slam it below 1,700? Because you know these bastards, you know, it's within smelling distance. You know, it's not that they can significantly get it below 1,700. And again, there's a caveat there. The caveat is that these markets are so freaking crooked that they can do whatever crooked shit they want, spoof these markets even lower, which I think is exactly what's been going on. To the blind eye, the CFTC and of course COMEX makes so much money on it, they're not worried about it. But they want to end this too. They want to end this crooked, short, huge, massive short positions that could cause them major grief as well, maybe even bankruptcy. I'm not quite sure if the silver market could bankrupt the CME, but could cause them a lot of grief. So Ted Butler believes, as I do, that they're exiting these large short positions right now. In fact, I think Ted Butler just recently wrote that at this point, this is the least amount of short positions ever held by the big commercials in silver. I'm not quite sure about gold, but this is what Ted just recently wrote in silver. Again, if you got different information, please feel free to put it in the comment section below. But we are at an all-time or thereabouts low in short positions by the big commercials. So this indicates that we could see there's a couple of scenarios here. We could see a $5 rally in which they start running up their, you know, they start adding it to their short positions, or they could cap a rally very quickly right now at this $18, $19 level, cap this rally and even drive it down a little bit further, which seems to be the least likely scenario because remember, they have to have the physical to cover this stuff. How much available, I know there's tons of silver above ground, but how much available silver is there for sale below 20, below 19, below 18? Think about this, folks, all right? Real silver, okay? So to some degree, they do need to have the real silver to back these trades. And to drive it down even further, I just don't see that happening. I think you'll see a huge disconnect. Same thing with gold as well, but there is more plentiful gold out there than there is silver. The silver market is the most fucked with, the most manipulated, corrupt market out there as far as price discovery goes and what it's really worth per ounce. Gold trading on a more international level, probably less likely so, but as GATA.org clearly points out, gold is manipulated by the Bank of International Settlements and other banks. Here's another, and platinum as well, I'm sure. But here's something interesting as well, folks. Sentiment for gold, silver, and platinum is pretty much at a low, has been somewhat at a low. There's starting to be physical buyers, especially the smaller buyers, are creeping in right now and taking advantage of these lower prices. So we've seen no physical capitulation in the retail markets. I'm on the front lines of the retail markets in South Florida. Lots of money down here, lots of silver, lots of gold. If people are selling, I'm going to see that. I haven't seen any capitulation. You know, quite frankly, I haven't seen retail capitulation since 2016. All I've seen is a steady and then a slowing, then a steady and then a slowing, then a frantic, then a slowing purchase of silver, gold, and platinum. I haven't seen any retail capitulation whatsoever. Most of the gold and silver and platinum that I've been buying since 2016. This is why I say we're in a continued bull market, like a long-term bull market, as far as the retail sales go. As far as price discovery in the COMEX markets, they're just plain fucking crooked. So just get over it. And get over it. Take a deep breath, relax, let go, and just live the moment and realize that this provides a great opportunity to buy gold, silver, and platinum at really good prices. Let's take a look at the overnight markets here. Again, the monkey hammering occurring just, you know what? I don't even care what time of day it is, because really, if you think about it, Globex, New York NYMEX, New York Globex, open 24 hours. And look at the market here. Globexes are really thinly traded precious metal markets in the Globex markets. And take a look at those monkey hammerings right there. That's just fucking spoofing, in my opinion, right here. But who is it? Could it be Bank of International Settlements? Could it be central banks? Could it be the big traders trading on their behalf? GATA.org knows all about this stuff, and we're going to get to them next here shortly. You should check them out. So here, after hours, after market, Globex, thinly traded markets, and close for a little bit, you see that gold is trading in that slightly sub $1,700 mark. And the scumbags, they had to get it there, folks. They smelled 16 something. They smelled it. They needed to get it there. Where we go from here, not sure. But again, wonderful buying opportunity on physical. And if you've already bought in, and even if you bought in at a much higher price, no worries. Just relax, go fishing, do something fun. Don't take a deep breath. All right, take a deep breath. Just go live the moment, whatever it is you're doing. Don't get caught up in this stuff right here, because we don't have control over it. What we do have control over is knowing how the game is rigged. We know how the game is rigged. Play that game accordingly. Play it smart. Buy these lows, buy these physical lows. This is my opinion. Buy these physical lows. Add more physical if you can. If not, just wait. Gold and silver will be at a higher price some point. You'll be happy you own it. And if you look at the overall, look at all the other markets. Cryptos, man, down half. Gold's not down half. Silver's not down half. So a lot of these other markets have hemorrhaged just as bad. And do I think those markets are rigged as well? Well, based on what I know, that nobody cares that silver markets are rigged and gold markets are likely rigged, I'm betting everything is rigged across the board to some degree in the favor of the big commercial banks and the big traders. I don't know about the Glass-Steagall Act. Maybe we need to bring the Glass-Steagall Act back. There are some aspects of it that are pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comment section if you know much about the Glass-Steagall Act. And gold to silver ratios, let's do a quickie here with Siri, and let's see what Siri says. Siri says, and where's my Siri? It's up there. 1,696.83 divided by 18.735.
It's approximately 90.57.
Okay, we're still sitting at 90 to 1 gold to silver ratio right now. So that's, we were as high as 95 to 1 not too long ago when both metals were falling. Silver fell much faster than the price of gold. And that's kind of the reason I think that we were up to that 95 to 1 or 96 to 1 ratio for a short period of time. But right now, closer to 91, but still high. Take a look at this chart. This is the chart since the 1930s of gold and silver ratios. Of course, the shaded areas right here are going to be your show recessions. And I got the log scale on as well. But if you take a look at here, here's your big markets here. Well, not big markets. 1990, gold to silver ratio really high. And the general rule here is when you see a very low gold to silver ratio, these are our bull markets. This is when gold and silver were at its highest, October 79, 80 in that area. And there's the first bull market after Nixon took us off the gold standard. 68, 67. Oh, no, that wouldn't be 68, 67. That's interesting. I think Nixon's around here or something, right in that area. But maybe that's a bad assumption and correlation on my point. But no less, take a look here. Here's another bull market. If you take a look, that's around 2011, 2012. And the gold silver ratio tightened up considerably. But look, 2020. Does this make sense right here? Take a look at the gold to silver ratio there. Quite high. Not at a low. Well, hold on. There is that potentially our high? But no less, we're sitting at a 90 to 1, 96 to 1 right now. And I think that's a good buying opportunity. It says two things. Either gold is too high or silver is too cheap. I think right now, again, I've been saying it for a long time for you silver guys, where gold goes, silver follows. So I still believe silver is way too cheap. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it is, or take it for what it's worth. A lot of stuff going on out there. I hope you have gata.org on your bookmark bar, because it's free, and these are the guys that explain how gold markets are rigged. J.P. Morgan, golder trader, spoofed so fast he was urged to put ice on his fingers. While these guys were costing miners and small investors and large investors in gold millions and billions of dollars, they're joking about it, all right? But remember, the big crime is not committed by this gold trader that spoofed these markets. The gold traders that are spoofing these markets, as I've said in the earlier part of this video, are just a small part of the great monkey hammering, the great fraud that's taking place in the COMEX markets, which is the spoofing is designed to drive out the big managed long positions in silver to sell back to the big commercial traders like J.P. Morgan, like Citi, like Deutsche Bank, and those other banks that had these huge short positions. The spoofing is such a small part of the scam. That's just, again, part of the scam. The big scam is in the big short collusive positions that drive these markets downward, just again to drive out the long positions and rinse and repeat. We know how this goes, but they're joking about it, folks. They're joking about it. This tells you how corrupt these markets are, how corrupt the CME Group's COMEX markets are. And again, if it's in silver markets, you got to kind of wonder if it's in the other markets as well. This is my opinion and the opinion of people much smarter than me as well. All right, so take it for what it's worth. BIS gold swaps keeps falling. Remember BIS, Bank of International Settlements, another big player in scamming the gold markets. And again, not the silver markets, but the gold markets. And that GATA.org talks about this. As I said, the two best people for understanding how both of these markets are rigged is Ted Butler talks mostly about silver markets, but he does understand the criminal wrongdoings of the big commercial shorts in the gold market and COMEX as well. But the people that understand on an international level is GATA.org, and they've been talking about the Bank of International Settlements rigging the price of gold for years. Why did they do this? Well, it probably has something to do with if gold continues to climb up, it makes their fiat currencies look really bad. Maybe it has something to do with derivatives and swaps as well. Maybe it's all of the above. You should read this stuff. Highly recommend you do. I'm going to move into ZH here, and I'm only going to talk about one article because the rest of it's just a shit show. I'm wondering how this is going to affect us, but if you think about it, it's a shit show. The rest of this stuff is a shit show, usually created by our own morons in Congress and Senate, and the moron that's at the head of the podium right now. But this is interesting. This might explain why you had the big fall in Bitcoin as well not too long ago. It seems that Tesla sold off a lot of its Bitcoins. Would that have a huge effect on the Bitcoin market? I don't know. I'm just speculating on that. Will this kind of come into the United States markets? I think so. China's a big enough economy that if they have big problems, it's going to have a ripple effect across the world. One of the most interesting things I just read that you haven't really seen too much of in corporate news too as well is how much in billions in U.S. treasuries the Chinese have sold in the last year. This is really big news, but you just don't see it as big news. It doesn't seem it's making the news, but China's been laying off a huge amount of treasuries, all right? Maybe they're just not telling us this, or it's not making big news because they don't want us to focus on this stuff. They don't want us to look and see how bad the U.S. dollar is. They don't want us running into gold. They don't want us running into other assets, Bitcoin, whatever it may be, to get out of the fiat dollar. Maybe that's the strength of the dollar right now. It's a combined effort of that and them monkey hammering these assets down as well. Monkey hammering gold down, monkey hammering cryptos down. You never know. Never underestimate the Federal Reserve, which doesn't have to tell you what they're doing, central banks as well, and the federal government who can do these things under the Plunge Protection Team Act. All right. What's the best deals out there? I'm giving SD Bullion love this week because I like SD. I like APMEX. I like JM Bullion. And there's nothing wrong with these companies. However, your local dealer should be able to beat their prices on the more reasonably priced products that you have, like gold bars, silver bars, that kind of thing. So I recommend, if you don't live in South Florida and you can't come visit a wonderful, handsome dealer like myself, I'm full of myself tonight, find yourself a good local dealer, because we only do brick and mortar sales down here at my business, and I don't do online sales. Maybe one day. But find yourself a good local dealer, not because there's anything wrong with SD, APMEX, or JM, but your local dealer should be able to beat their product prices. And what are the best deals out there? Best deals out there are genuinely still kilo bars. 100-ounce bars went up in price a little bit, folks, believe it or not. And again, I can smoke these guys, SD, JM, and Atmex Bullion, on their prices. They can run a sale here and there, maybe try to smoke me a little bit, but I don't mind not making anything. They can't afford to do that for long, and I can. And so should your local dealer. Again, nothing wrong with these companies, but there's nothing wrong with small guys like myself being highly competitive and pointing this stuff out. And again, if you live in Adak, Alaska, and you have no coin dealer, maybe you might want to order from SD, Bullion, JM, or Amex. All right, so there, I gave him a plug. That's if you live in never mind, I'm not going to say it. Something nowhere. Man, what a beautiful evening out there. Even 90 degrees. Man, people are just walking by, enjoying themselves. What a bunch of lovely sights here. I love Lauderdale by the Sea. All right, let's, again, best deals. I'm going to put them in order. Kilo bars, as far as what I have. I don't know about the other guys, but kilo bars are the best deal per ounce. 100-ounce bars would be the next best deal. Tens and ones seem to be about price the same. There seems to be a little bit tightness on tens and ones. Premiums are up as well as ones, but I have a good price. Again, folks, I can beat these guys. As far as gold goes, I would show you different products. As far as gold goes, bars are the best deal. We primarily carry Valcambi gold bars, and also the silver bars too. I have an excellent supplier that I've been dealing with for years and years and years. And you know, I keep thinking I got to do an interview with my supplier at some point. Larry D. What a great guy he is, and he's a mentor of mine as well. But no less, let's. I got to do an interview. I keep thinking I got to do an interview with Larry. I just got to figure out how to do it. All right, let me move out of here and move into. I already told you what the best deals out here. Let me move into yesterday's video, which silver and gold about to take off. And when I said silver and gold, I have a question mark and an exclamation mark here. And really, that title is all about what Ted Butler was talking about, that he feels that we're almost in a takeoff zone right now. Have we hit rock bottom? Tough to say, but I think the trajectory from here, we've hit our low point here pretty soon, is near. And I would have to agree with that. If you want to know more about that title, read what I said yesterday. And again, I didn't say it was taking off today. All right, so, or next week. We're not giving specific time frames, but we're talking about the general where is bottom. Is this the takeoff period right now? And that's good video yesterday. I hope you get a chance to watch it. Let's go down to, I want to acknowledge all the people in my video that watched my videos, and it's getting longer and longer. Oh my gosh, hang on. I'm not complaining. Welcome, not that long. I don't get that many comments from here. There's guys out there that get thousands of comments. I'm like, wow, but no less. Welco Services, bear. Well, today it's a bull, yesterday a bear. I think we kind of, well, it depends on what part of the day you were looking at, but I think the opening, what was the opening? This morning was up, actually, so the coin was wrong. Thank you, Welco, Silver Wolf. Nice to see you there. Absolutely true. I saw that with AOC. Fist pumping. Lindsay was there, too? I don't know if Lindsay was there. I think you're thinking of, what was that other lady's name? But no less, yeah, we're on the same page. Hal Brooks, what's up? I gotta read more into this right here. I have not really. Miles Franklin reporting a 975,000 Silver Eagle order, drying up retail supply till September. Very, very possible. It sounds very interesting. However, which particular wholesale supplier is going to supply that order? Has the person that's taken that order or is handling that or brokering that deal, have they already hooked up with the suppliers out there for this 975,000 silver? Interesting. If they have, man, they are masters at their craft if they've locked up that many Silver Eagles pre-delivery. So no less kind of interesting, and I'll have to look more into that, Hal. Thanks for bringing that up. And Michael, what's going on? I have to agree with you 100% there. Joey, how you doing? Iced coffee is cheap? No, iced coffee. Tonight's, again, it's an evening wine report, not a morning coffee report. So ratio up to 90-1. Yep, that's it. Some great silver acquisitions. Great, Joey. I'm glad you're buying local. Good to hear. 108 in Kansas. Holy crap. You guys don't even have an ocean. You can't go sit in the water up to your neck like I can you? Woo. Kevin Wright says, great opening video. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kevin. Keep watching. Oh, Mulligan's is closed, man. I can tell you're an old timer. When's the last time you were here? Mulligan's been closed for like over a decade now, Kevin. Wow. But it absolutely tells me you know old LBTS. You know old Lauderdale by the Sea. Mulligan's Beach House. Hold on. Is that Mulligan's? No, I thought Mulligan's was, maybe it's not Mulligan's. Mulligan's on the corner. All right, I'm thinking of another restaurant. No, they're still there. Sorry about that. 24 Karat says, be ever vigilant and elect men of virtue, otherwise you'll lose your republic. George Washington. Well, have we lost our republic, 24 Karat? Have we been vigilant? No. Have we elected people of virtue? No. Have we lost our republic? Maybe not quite yet. Let's see what happens. John says we are saved by the grace. John, that's pretty cool. I can't argue with that. To all my religious brothers out there, regardless of what religion you're involved with. Telex machine. That's it. I was talking about that. We used to call it teletype back then. That's it. Teletype. Teletype system, telex machine, yeah. I'm giving my age up right now, but I was little when my father operated a telex machine. Silver liner, I hope you mentioned all the refineries are shut down in South Africa. I have not brought that up. I haven't really followed too much about South African mines being shut down, but that would explain right now why KRs are kind of backlogged or in shortage at the moment. There's probably not much being made. Thanks for bringing it up, Silverliner. I appreciate that. Jason, rebel, we're all rebels, sir. Every one of us. Actually, all Americans are rebels. That's how we got here. This is how we got this country. We're rebels, all right? We don't put up with bullshit. And and I don't care. Our brothers are red and blue. You know, the red and blue parties just separate us, all right? So let's not get caught up in red and blue parties. We're all brothers. They try to keep us separated by their stupid two-party system and trying to separate us on issues that if we really sat down and talked with each other about it, we would figure it out. Instead, they divide us. Dennis, what's going on? I think Thursday, tomorrow's Wednesday, no, today's Wednesday. Yeah, they did Monkey and Hammer down. You got something there, man. Good assumption on your part. Donald says, busting my chops, better with junk battered silver. Thank you for busting my chops, Donald. I kind of thought you were. I've seen you comment out here at time. Didn't take any offense or any weirdness to it at all. We're just kind of pointing out it's easy to kind of cherry pick sometimes on things, as you well know. But thanks for busting my chops. Have a good night, Don. Anonymous says, you're so lucky. I love maritime weather. I am too. You know, for some reason, I think that if there is a past life, I probably lived on the ocean. That's just my opinion. Thanks, Anonymous. I appreciate it. Nick says, right now, my LCS can't match the prices some monument has. They're even 10-ounce bars. That's going to happen, Nick. But, you know, like you said down here, I think I'm still going to go through money local. Just to keep that money local. And the fact that you can walk in there, there's once you establish a good relationship with a local dealer, it's great because there's going to time you're going to want to sell this stuff, and having that relationship is going to be really beneficial to you guys. Having a local relationship with a good dealer to sell your metals, you know, it's going to be very beneficial. So, you know, I recommend that you guys go out and find a local dealer, even if you have to drive an hour in your state to do it. Keep it in the state at least. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. Telex machine, exactly. Way before dial-up. Yeah, I remember dial-up. Does that make me old? You know, and it was. Remember the sound? All of the weird sounds. Okay, dial-up. Yeah, AOL. You've got mail. Thanks, T. Lee. Black says I picked up 2016 Square. Cool, man. $190 for a 1/10. That's a great deal. Absolutely, a 1/10 ounce of gold for $190. That's not bad of a premium compared to Gold Eagles are trading what? 200 plus something stupid dollars. Yeah. Jerry, excellent. Thank you. Appreciate your subscription. Thingamajigger. Safe and effective. Quickly sudden and expected. There you go, sir. I can't argue with that. Celtic Knot says when ordinances become statutes, statutes become laws, and liberty dies and gets replaced by corrupt legislation. Oh, man. Yeah. Here. Remember what I was telling you earlier there, Celtic? This is what I'm doing right now. Relax, breathe, let go, let the moment go. We're surrounded by crooks and stuff like that, but they only make up a small percentage of the population. Somehow they just happen to get the reins of the horse. They happen to be able to get the steering wheel of the car. So, you know, They seem to be in power in certain places where they seem to be pervasive and huge, but they're really a bunch of small wussies. You know what I mean? A small group of wussies that make a lot of noise. That's what you got going on out there. And we'll beat them down, that's for sure. Crip Blood says, I say progressives don't know what they're progressing toward. To me, they seem manipulating. You can't argue with that. There seems to be some, I don't know, man. I think they're just following certain people that tell them what to say and tell them what to think, and they've become so accustomed to that they feel if they don't follow what these certain people tell them to think. We have the same thing on you have the same thing in the Red Party too. You have the same extremists. They're told what to think, and anything in between is not permissible. And to disagree with the your party is paramount to treason. So that's just wrong and bad, considering both parties suck in a major way. Thanks for commenting. Base 6, the rule of law is like a measure of anything impossible. Oh, ooh, dude, you're going deep. Dude, dudette, whichever you are. I respect either one. That's pretty deep. A rule is measure, and there's only one law. The rule can't be broken. Otherwise, the word is vague and meaningless. Oh my gosh, you know what? You know, if I sat down and had a couple drinks with you, we could go on for a couple hours there. Thanks, Base 6. Appreciate you watching. Good point there as well. Michael Moore says, the Golden ZH in comments, hours of entertainment there. Absolutely. Dumped my silver in a month ago, invested in brass or lead. Rippy, why did you do that? You know, brass and lead. I mean, I'm a big shooter from way back. I'm a big fan of Hitchcock 45. I watch a lot of the, the videos. If you ask what I watch, one of the videos I watch, I don't watch anything about coins or precious metals. Trust me, I don't. Just because I do it every day. I kind of get out of my space by watching videos about guns. I've been a gun collector since I've been a teenager, as well as a shooter. You know what? I have too much ammo. I have too much of this stuff. I'm going to downsize that stuff myself. Don't want too much of that stuff. I can't possibly shoot it. And the idea that I'm going to be able to use it one day, that there's going to be roaming hordes of zombies and, and liberals hungry liberals running around trying to steal my shit, and I'm going to be sitting on top of my roof firing at them. It's just fucking poppycock. It's movie bullshit. I'm sorry, it's true in my opinion. And besides, if it ever got to that point and you had to do that, then you might as well either A, get out of the country as fast as you can with the least amount of weight that you can, which is not ammo, but it's gold and silver, with just enough ammo to get you to where you're going, and or just plain shoot yourself, because who would want to live in a freaking world like that? Just my opinion. Buy back your gold, Riffy. I highly recommend it, in your silver. Bad idea. Just my opinion. Regardless, hey, listen, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Thanks, Rippy. Have a good night, and appreciate you watching. Road Tester says, currently headline Mystery Assault. Yeah, this whole this stuff is kind of Pelosi and this fight. Listen, folks, we're living in very corrupt times right now. Road Tester, I think you have to realize that as well. What's your opinion about self-directed gold IRAs? I think they suck, personally. Why? One of the beauties of owning gold is you have it in your own hand. You don't have to have someone else holding it for you, somebody holding an IRA. And you're talking about self-directed IRAs, the ones where you can hold the stuff yourself. They're bullshit. They're lies. Everybody I've seen ever get involved with those has been in trouble, had some tax issues. Stay the frick away from those, in my opinion. The best thing you can do is just stick with physical gold. Buy it yourself, hold it yourself, and don't get involved in these freaking risky, weird, convoluted schemes on IRAs. That's my opinion, Road Tested. And hey, I'm going to stick with it. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate that. Israel T says, why does it take such a lengthy stretch to make your point? Well, Israel T, it's just who I am, and if you don't like who I am, there's 1,000 other YouTube talking heads out there that you might like. So don't watch me. But if you do like watching me, hey, listen, that's just who I am. And I respect who you are. Have yourself a great evening, Israel T. Appreciate you did take the time to watch the video. I hope you did. And have a good night. Bill says, will cashless affect the value of precious metals? I think bankers will make everything fiat currency, digital currency, making they know everything. Ireland just about to go cashless in the first, not the last. We need to get a vote on who runs our planet. And I can't argue with any of that comments, Bill. You're absolutely right. I think we're going to a digital world. And again, I could get into a long-winded, I've talked about this stuff over the last course of the 2 years in my videos. about digital currencies, about where I think it's going, cashless societies. So we're on the same page exactly, sir. However, I encourage my other viewers out there, if you're watching, hey, get into comments with Bill here. It's pretty cool, and I think that you guys can have some really cool, civil, intelligent discussions out there. I always love watching it. Thanks for commenting, Bill, again. Brent says, love your analogy of liberals and conservatives. Thank you, Brent. I'm glad you feel the same way. You know, some of us do feel the same way. Michael, what's going on? Kelly Moore says, so you keep saying over and over and over as the price tanks. What am I saying over and over? Hang on, look at the title here. I forget what I was saying. Silver and gold about. I do not keep saying that over and over and over. Give me a break, Kelly Moore. But hey, listen, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch over and over and over. I'm pretty much try to say it like it is here, you know. So I guess you just read the title and assumed that. But no less, have yourself a good night, and thanks for commenting. You got a good buddy and it's within months. Hey, thanks, William. Appreciate that. Locked and loaded. Yeah, there you go. Wall Street boys have made us. No, it's not the Wall Street boys. You know who made us a police state, man? We have. By our apathy, by the lack of active, and I'm talking about you, William. I'm just talking about in general, the whole country in general. Apathy, the idea that you don't have to spend much time figuring out who you're voting for, because someone else might do it for you. You just kind of hit the name you like the most, or the person you think is the most popular, or whatever. That's what has got us into this terrible state. Is our lack, not you. I'm not saying you. I'm a very informed voter. And I'm very careful who I vote for, and I don't vote for lesser evils, but there's a vast majority of people that do, and that's why we're in this trouble, William. It's our own fault. You know, there's a saying, there's a biblical saying, is why point out the speck in your brother's eye when you have a plank in your own, and I believe that 100%. We have a plank in our own as Americans as a whole. And again, not individually. There's a lot of responsible individuals. I am voting-wise, and I believe you are too. You must be, since you're watching my video, and all you rest of you folks. Hey, listen, thanks for watching my videos. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins. I always say think for yourself, question authority, and I go into a long-winded speech why you need to do that, but if you haven't watched the last 200 of my videos, you'll know why. So, hey, thanks again. If you're in South Florida and you're buying or selling rare coins, precious metals, jewelry, artwork, antiques, and other things, we are the place to go, especially with rare coins and precious metals. It is my specialty here. Happy to help you out with whatever you have. We're here 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays, same location since 1995, and I've been doing this since 1977. Again, if you don't live in South Florida, we can't ship to you, but I do recommend that you find yourself a good local dealer like myself and keep that business local. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a great evening. Good night now.